So I was like playing in my pajamas that had teddy bear drawings on them, playing. Then the next thing, my wife was having my first child, so I was trying to juggle things in between.
We are back and ready for another installment of Kill Screen. I'm Mike.
I'm James.
And head of the band's 17th album overall, Ascension, we are joined by none other than Paradise Lost, Mr. Nick Holmes. Nick, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi, hello, hi.
We're going to start you off right from the beginning. What was your very first gaming experience?
I was thinking about this today when I was walking the dogs. For some reason, I seem to think like Shinobi might have been one of the first. But prior to that, I think it could have been, was it something like the adventure game on the ZX Spectrum or something? There was something on the one where it took about 25 minutes to load. I think it was a ZX Spectrum. It's one of those really, I can't even remember what they were, but my friend had one because I could never afford it. But I think it could have been like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing. But other than that, the one that I remember playing to death was probably Rastan and Shinobi, and probably on the PlayStation 1, was it? Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe before that, or Mega Drive, maybe.
I was going to say, there are definitely Shinobi games on the Mega Drive.
Yeah, what was before the Mega Drive?
The Master System?
Yeah,
System. Master System, yeah, I think it might have been the Master System, yeah. But I had each of those consoles, my sort of earliest. Because I remember when the PlayStation 1 came out and there was the Tomb Raider game, and the graphics were absolutely out of this world, you know. When the T-Rex came around the corner, it was like, oh my God, this is... and the water, diving into the water as well, was like, oh my God, this is so realistic. So that was like, that kind of turned a corner from a graphic scenario. So I always remember particularly that game was like, really sticks in my mind. But I think that was PS1, I think that.
So when you were playing Shinobi, was it like, oh, this is fun, whatever, and then when it got to the PS1, that's when like things became like, whoa, this is incredible? Or were you just kind of like hooked from the beginning?
I just remember there was kind of a bit of a gap because I kind of left home and then I started, so I was like playing in my pajamas that had teddy bear drawings on them, playing. Then the next thing, my wife was having my first child, so I was trying to juggle things in between.
No. Was that a gap then? That like, so you would play?
Yeah, there was a gap. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't like a weekend, like 2 weeks or so.
People often mention that they played when they were younger and then they stepped away for a little bit and then they came back. Was there any particular reason that you stepped away, or conversely, any particular reason that you came back?
It was probably when I moved. So when I moved out of my parents' place, I was probably living in like with my friend in flat shares, and there was no kind of gaming going on at that point because we were just kind of hanging out and going out drinking and all the other things that guys in their late teens do, you know, particularly in the 1980s before the internet, etc. So. Yeah, so there was a gap, and then I met my wife around, I don't know, whenever it was. So then when we kind of got a house, I kind of settled back, and I wouldn't mind getting a PlayStation again, you know what I mean? So that's when I started sort of getting back into it. But then, I mean, after that, I think I got the Xbox, the first Xbox, and I didn't use it much because I preferred PC, so I got really into PC gaming. So that's all I've done. Because I keep kind of toying on getting a PS5 or something, but I don't think I'll use it. So I'm just into the PC gaming. But yeah, it was... there was I'd say a good 7 years where nothing, and then I kind of got into it again, you know, from being a kid.
So what is it about PC gaming over console gaming that kind of resonated more with you? Like, why is it that consoles...
probably a lot of it is I can play in another room, and my wife won't see me playing it, and she won't come in and say, you need to get a life. So that's one of the main things. And she'll probably see this now. She's probably listening outside.
And she's saying, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean this with absolutely no disrespect and full appreciation for you taking your time to talk to us. Is it weird to be doing an interview about playing video games?
No, it's not. It's not at all. We're really into it. I mean, me, Steve, and Aaron in the band, we're really into it. I mean, I can come in and go out of it. I can play non-stop to it. Certain games just really ignite me, and I can't wait to play it, and I enjoy it. But then there's like a whole load that can get good reviews, and they just don't, for some reason, they don't click with me. But I mean, Steve's mad on the Steam Deck. He's playing that all the time. I think Aaron's both console and PC, but Aaron plays a lot. I mean, he plays a lot of the mass multiplayer games. He does a lot of that stuff, which I've never really been into that. I prefer to single player games. I can't be bothered. It's too frantic. I remember when it started, even when I was younger, when we started with internet gaming, I played with my friend, guys that lived in Halifax, and we played the racing. I can't remember the racing game, what the name of it was, and even like Quake. But it's too frantic. It just does my head in. I get a headache. I'd like to think about my next move, you know what I mean?
What kind of games do catch your interest or keep your attention in comparison? You mentioned some games with high reviews that didn't really seem to click for you. What sort of games do you like to play? What catches your interest?
I weirdly enough, I'm having to look what I've got on my thingy now. I mean, I loved Elden Ring. Weirdly enough, once I got my head around it, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It's so hard as well, because I like that element, even though it's kind of annoys you. But I really loved Elden Ring. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. But I mean, I got the DLC, and I just forgot how to play it, and it's like I'm kind of back to square one.
DLCs are tricky, man.
Yeah, I was also trying to play it with a keyboard, which is absolutely impossible. So then I thought, oh no. So I used the pad. Then I thought, all right, this is the way to play it. Yeah. So then, I like all those kind of games really. But I mean, another one that really I absolutely loved was Death Stranding. I just absolutely love that game. It was so. I think the atmosphere in it. It's such a lonely kind of world you're in, and it's how they've done it. And then when you kind of get the challenge and you get over the hill and you're approaching the delivery drop, they play the music, and I just love it. It's very kind of relaxing, and it's also kind of sinister and scary as well. But I thought that was a remarkable game. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, it's just a walking simulator." It's like, no. You know, it's more to it than that. But I mean, yeah, Death Stranding was particularly a bit of a standout game for me in the last few years. You know, for sure.
Have you picked up Death Stranding 2? Or are you looking forward to picking it up?
Yeah, but it's PS5, isn't it? So I'm going to have to wait about 5 years before it comes out on PC. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 as well. I recently finished that. I mean, I love that as well. I mean, that was brilliant, absolutely great. But it's rare that I'll finish a game. It's got to be exceptional for me to finish it, you know.
Just other things kind of get in the way.
Yeah, I mean, and then like if I spend enough time away from it, I kind of forget how to play it, you know, and I sort of lose the gist of the controls or whatever. And the last Call of Duty, which I'm not usually into that, but the single player campaign on that I thought was brilliant. I mean, it was really so well done. It was very short, but it was like 6 hours or something. Not very long, but I just thought it was so well done. I mean, graphically it looks absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, I can be swayed by nice graphics as well sometimes. I'm quite shallow in that regard.
Well, you can be swayed by graphics, but as the vocalist lyricist for Paradise Lost, how important is storytelling in games to you? Like, do you approach video games?
It's not. I mean, I'm quite. I don't know. I do skip through a lot of dialogue because I don't really get heavily invested in the lore aspects of certain games, which I'd like to do. I like to think I would do, but I don't. I do a lot of skipping dialogue, if I'm honest. I don't get too much into that, and I know a lot of people do, and that's great, you know. But I don't get. I mean, it's nice to have it. Obviously, it's nice to have a story in like the Walking Dead games. I thought they were great, and they weren't particularly graphically amazing, but how it worked with the storytelling was just great, you know. And you really get invested in, and like the decisions you make affect situations, and I like that as well, even though I kind of don't like it because I don't like to be put on the spot. I mean, anything that's too much like real life, I start to get stressed. So any kind of city building games, it's just too much like real life. I have my own plumbing problems. I don't need to be messing around with them on a game, you know.
Is like escapism a big part of it for playing a video game? Is that something that?
Oh yeah. It's totally, yeah. It's like for me, it's like listening to a great album. You know, if you just get lost in the music, and you're gonna get lost in. But I don't play for longer than a couple of hours at a time. I can't do these marathon 6 hours, 7 hours. I just can't do it. I feel like my brain's collapsing after a while. I can't sleep either. If I like an hour or two at a time, and then I'm done. But yeah, it's because I got I can play on my laptop. But I mean, when we're on tour, it's kind of not the right environment for some reason. I don't really like playing online when I'm on tour. It's kind of weird. I don't know why. I just don't kind of get into it as much. But yeah, it's nice to kind of switch off for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's total fantasy from it. You know, it's total escapism. I think, you know.
We found out about your interest in gaming from all things your Twitter account. Has it been interesting to talk to fans at all about gaming? Is it something that comes up at all, or is it more just kind of like a side topic that gets thrown out every once in a while?
I mean, I really get asked about it. Really, I mean, it's. I mean, like I say, I mean, we three of us in the band we play. I mean, Greg's. I think he tried. He just couldn't get he couldn't kind of switch off enough to kind of get invested in it. Yeah, it's something that we really get asked about, to be honest. But I mean, like I said, we've been on and off doing it for most of his lives. You know, it's like it's not like it's something we've just suddenly sort of turned on to. You know, I mean, especially Aaron. I mean, Aaron's like he's kind of hardcore with it. I mean, since he was probably early teens or something. Whenever, you know, the years of Altered Beast and all that. When was that? That's a long time ago, isn't it?
You were just waiting for us to come along and finally, you know, pry this information out of you.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to talk about. Like I said, you get asked. We rarely get asked about anything along these lines, but it's something that's kind of run parallel. I mean, when we used to go in the studio in the 90s, the early 90s, I think there was a Mega Drive there, and we were playing Street Fighter, and I forgot what was the other one. I mean, we just play it all day. I mean, you know, because that's what young bands used to do. You know what I mean? Then you'd get drunk and play while you were drunk as well. So.
And then Street Fighter turned into real fighting.
Yeah, real brawling, yeah.
Also, what you're saying there then is that Street Fighter was an essential part of recording classic Paradise Lost records. Yes.
Well, not just Paradise. I think any band who particularly were going into studios around the kind of 94, 95, if there wasn't a console in the studio, it was sad, because I mean, I think nearly every band, there'll have been at least two guys who were on that machine constantly. I can guarantee it, because whenever I used to walk in the studio, there was a couple of guys always. So yeah, I mean, not so much now. I mean, even on the tour buses as well, you kind of don't see them now, but there used to be consoles on the tour buses all the time, and everyone was always on them. And now they're kind of like covered in dust, really, because everyone's got laptops, and you know, they don't really go on them. But yeah, I mean, they were a staple in the 90s, the consoles, I think.
Beyond Street Fighter 2, were there any games that you kind of equated with particular albums? Like, could you be like, oh, when we were recording Draconian Times, we were playing, you know, Doom or whatever? Like,
it was, yeah, probably all that sort of stuff. Street Fighter, and I forgot what the other one was. Tekken. That's it, Tekken. Yeah, that was. Yeah, in fact, that one was the one. Yeah, that was great. We love that one. But yeah, I mean, I guess Tekken reminds me of recording Draconian Times. Sure, if I see that, I think, yeah, it does remind me of it. Yeah.
Are fighting games kind of like the unifying genre for all of you, or? At that time, more of like a relic of the 90s.
I mean, at that time, it was a thing you could just kind of. And we played the golf games as well, which was good fun as well. So I mean, we played the golf just as much as the other ones actually. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could play it together, and then someone would master the thumb movement on a certain move, and they'd just nail you every time, and then you'd just be slagging each other off for 5 minutes. And saying, like, I'm going to get you this time, you wanker, and stuff like that.
In particular, it does seem like you're leaning a little bit more on the head-to-head rather than a co-op sort of game.
Oh, no, yeah, it was head-to-head, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely head-to-head, yeah.
You're not playing Streets of Rage on the same team fighting, you know, the baddies.
No team building. There has to be a winner and loser in Paradise Lost.
But then you'd spend your time trying to perfect the thumb move, the special move, so you could get them. Which is, I mean, I love it. It was great. You know, it was all good fun. But it was funny when you start beating someone. They're like, so yeah.
So a lot of the games that you've mentioned already, Baldur's Gate, Call of Duty, Death Stranding. You're naming a lot of like big AAA games. Do you typically prefer the bigger, grandiose titles, or have you ever kind of explored the indie side of gaming at all, especially, being a PC gamer?
I mean, I think I have done in the past. I look at the reviews. They don't have to be massive games, but if it gets generally good reviews or good player reviews, I'll give it a go. But like I said, I'm kind of strange. They don't always click with me. There's certain elements that I don't know what it is. It just doesn't click. I mean, but I do find anything that if I can't master it after a little time, I lose interest. My attention span's kind of pretty bad like that, and I think, I should be doing something else because I can't master this and it's annoying me. So I'll go and do something else instead. I'll go and have a tin of beer or something that works straight away.
Is it no? Is that usually like a gameplay thing that would cause you to bounce off, as compared to like X element in the story or Y annoying character or something?
No, it's nothing like. No, I would never do it. It's always if I can't do something, I'll give it a certain amount of goes, and then I lose interest. And if it starts to make me feel frustrated, then it's a negative, and I don't like it. So, but then I will come back to it probably, but not at that point. I will walk away, then come back. But like I say, it's a lot of the time I don't spend enough time doing it to get really good at it. So like I see, my brother when he was growing up, he was so good at all these games. I mean, crazy skill. But then he was in his dressing gown all day, playing all day. So he had lots of time. And then eventually he had to go and get a job like everybody else. But at that time he was in his pajamas, just on the PS or whatever. And then he was like a pro at it,
Have you ever gotten any like surprise recommendations that you didn't expect that you would like? And conversely, like you're saying that there are certain games that get really high reviews that you don't care for. What have been some of the big disappointments that you've come across?
I wasn't keen on God of War, actually, for the main reason it was too linear. I think this is maybe a bit of a PlayStation thing, because the games, they seem they kind of hold your hand a lot, and I'm kind of not too much into that. I mean, I like a little bit of hand holding, but with that, it's kind of like you can't go down that path or that path. You got to go down that path. And I find that the linear element but it's more like a beat 'em up game anyway, ultimately. So I'm not massively into that. It's a bit too straightforward. I like something that's got various options in it, perhaps, like the Fallout games, I guess, more open. And I guess coming to the different endings as well. I like that concept that you might have a different ending regardless of what decision you make. I always find that fascinating as well. But yeah, I think God of War was, for all the hype of it, I didn't finish it. I kind of liked it, but I didn't finish it.
So, in addition to being the vocalist for Paradise Lost, you're also very famously the vocalist for Bloodbath. Would you say that your preference for the style of game that you like to play is more akin to Paradise Lost, where it's that very heavy, morose, brooding kind of atmosphere, or do you prefer a more Bloodbath approach where it's very high energy, very bloody, very aggressive?
Oh, definitely the Paradise Lost. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do love the Resident Evil games for sure, especially the new versions. They're brilliant. But yeah, definitely more and more. I'd like to sit back and think about what I'm doing. But like I said, I mean, like with Call of Duty, if a first person shooter works, and there's interesting variations of it, then I can really get into it. But I usually find them too frantic, and I'm just probably getting a bit old for that kind of thing. So I feel like I'm doing it in real life.
What was it about the new Call of Duty that caught your attention? Like you'd mentioned that you're kind of surprised by that. What really?
Because I remember playing it when it came out, the first ones, and I always quite liked it then. And I sort of picked it up on Game Pass because I thought I'd try out Game Pass for a while, and it was massive download, obviously. But and I got all the multiplayer elements, which I just wasn't using. But no, I just thought, and I played that, and then I went back and I played the others that I think like 3, 4. I don't think I played 3, 4 or 5. I went back and played them all. There's just something about it. It's just nice how it works. And the maps are great. And yeah, I don't know. But the multiplayer games is not for me.
Have there ever been any multiplayer games along the years that like you did find yourself enjoying or were interested in trying, or was it pretty quick?
I tried. I think it was Command and Conquer actually. I tried that, and Again, this is when my first child was very small, so I thought, well, she's in bed now, so I'll just try and have a quick hour on Command and Conquer. I thought I'll go online, I'll play online. And this guy said, "Oh, you ready?" I went, "I'm ready." And then he sent a scout out to my base. And I thought, all right. And then the next minute, there were so many tanks. And he absolutely, I thought, I'm not doing this again. So that's the last time. And my daughter's now 29. So that's how long ago I lost.
These real-time strategy games, like, you would expect them to be like, oh, you take your time, you build up your base, whatever. I remember when I was like really little, I was really into like StarCraft and Warcraft, like OG Warcraft.
Yeah.
And I used to play only like locally with my friends. And then I got to college and I was like, oh, I haven't played StarCraft in a while. Let me try this out. Within literally one game, I got wiped out within minutes. And I was like, oh, that was a huge waste of time. Like you walk away for however many years and it's just like, oh, you can't hang anymore. Like, well, you're not good enough to.
It's the guys in their pajamas all day playing with their dressing gowns. They're the ones who they become the masters at the craft.
It's so suspenseful too, because you're sat there and you're trying to build up your base and you're thinking, oh, when are they going to show up? When are they going to show up? When are they going to show up? And you're like, oh, I gotta build these little sentries over here and these turrets or whatever around this mountain ridge or something, and then they start storming in and you're like, oh no, and you get wiped out. And that's it.
No, it is. I like the Age of Empires games as well. I mean, I kind of got into it for a while, actually, but I mean, you can play like a 24-hour game over 3 days or 4 days or something, and then you still get your ass whooped, and it's and it was all for nothing.
You're mentioning not playing like online multiplayer and stuff, but it seemed like you did have some excitement for some like local co-op. Do you ever find yourself sitting down in front of a Mega Drive on a tour bus or at a studio or anything anymore? Does that kind of thing come up anymore?
I don't know. I remember actually going around to my friends. I remember now we were playing Doom, but because it was co-op, we had to actually bring a huge television. We had to bring the television as well. So we had 2 televisions. So I put it in my car and I drove with the actual TV. And I can't remember the system. It might have been, I don't know which system. It might have been the PlayStation. I don't know which one it was. But I remember bringing the television, and we were playing that for actually ages. But we were just we were playing co-op, but we just started getting in each other's way when we were going through doorways. And he's like, well, you get out of the way. I want to get in there. And then we started getting irritable. So I thought, oh, fuck this. So I just got the television. I went home. So I'm not doing that again. But that was quite a while ago. But as far as playing on the tour bus or anything, no, I don't actually. I think I just wouldn't have the same feel now. I don't. Although you never know. I mean, if you get ultra bored, maybe it might seem quite interesting to give it a go again. But for the most part, the consoles remain unused on the buses these days. In fact, you rarely see them now.
So you mentioned you, Steve, and Aaron are the gamers within the group. Who would you say is the most skilled within Paradise Lost?
Game, probably Aaron, because I mean, Aaron's been playing Warcraft forever. I mean, and he plays, a lot of those. He's been playing those games forever and ever, and he's in squads and teams, and he's in all that the full online business. I mean, at least he was. I'm not sure if he still does it as much, but yeah, no, he's big on all that stuff. So probably I would imagine Aaron. I mean, he plays a lot. I mean, I know Steve's been playing the new Assassin's Creed game on the Steam Deck, and he kind of sits on airplanes, like playing it for like 3 hours, trying to find a USB charger because the battery dies after like 2 minutes or whatever. So he's going, oh, there's no charger. Oh, I can't play it.
You're mentioning quite a few well-known franchises. Are there any particular franchises that keep bringing you back personally? Any ones that you key on a new entry each time, or stuff that you find that held your attention previously that you jump back into, or is it more of just like whatever's seemingly catching your interest right then?
I would definitely say that the Resident Evil games, for sure. The Village I thought was great. I loved it. And again, the reissues of this 2 and 4, I think they've done. I mean, I remember the first Resident Evil. That was such a great game. I mean, even the loading screen when you go into the cellar, even though it took forever, the suspense was, oh my God, what's down here, and that's going to be even created. The Resident Evil was a great game. I kind of went off them a little bit when it went a little bit kind of science fiction.
What
Yeah,
about a
James,
franchise?
nobody likes 6.
So I'm the major defender of like all of the different parts of the franchise. I'm a super fan here. But
Right,
no,
yeah.
what about the franchise in particular? Like it seemed like you mentioned that right away. Is it that suspense? Is it the storytelling? What is it about it that made that jump to your mind right away?
I mean, a lot of it could be because it reminds me of being young as well, in the same way that I still listen to Merciful Fate now with as much enthusiasm as I did when I was 14. I just think it's probably a lot of it's just stepping back in when that game came out, because it was, I mean, everybody loved that game when it came out. I mean, and I like the fact it's like a haunted house kind of vibe, that whole creepy garden and all that. That was kind of really ticked all the boxes. It kind of went hand in hand with being a fan of kind of death metal for me. It kind of fitted in with the whole gore stuff, etc., zombies and all that. So that's kind of, yeah, definitely that's why it ticked the boxes, I think.
Do you think that your taste in extreme metal influences what kinds of games you are like drawn to try? Like, are you more swayed by something that reminds you of that death metal mentality, or
possibly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, initially maybe, yeah. I mean, it would do, yeah, because I mean, like, I'm a big horror fan anyway. So I'm a fan of horror. I'm a massive horror fan, particularly 70s horror films. I absolutely love those. It's the golden age for me. Anything to do with that genre, I'll give it a go. But they're not always the best games. That's the thing. I can play it for a little bit, but then I can drift off if it's not. It's got to feel right when I play, or I'll drift off. There's been a few games I can't think of this. Is it Outlast? I think.
Yeah.
It was too stressful to play. When it feels like it's kind of real horror, it's too much. It's like, oh no. It's equivalent of the plumbing problem with the building games.
Now, conversely, do you find that you bounce off of stuff that's like a little bit like more bright in color and silly in tone? Like, I don't know, say for example a Mario or a Donkey Kong. Do those not really catch you?
No, I'm not really into the. I mean the kind of platformers, I kind of like them, but they remind me of when I was younger, and they're kind of almost too simple, even though they're not necessarily simple. But they remind me of, like I said, I'm a bit of a sucker for the graphics sometimes. I mean, I played the game of Carrion actually, and I thought that was great.
Hell yeah, yeah.
I really like that, but it's got that kind of foreboding music in the background all the way through it, and it reminds me of Alien or something. And I really enjoyed that. Actually, I think I'm still playing actually. But yeah, that was a good one. That kind of caught me off guard. I quite like that one.
It seems like you're much more interested in the kinds of horror games where you have a bit more agency, or something like Outlast. These kinds of like hide and seek horror games where you can't defend yourself and you have to run and hide in lockers and stuff. A little bit too stressful, a little bit too scary. What are some of the other standouts in the horror genre that have kept your attention? Like any Silent Hills, any kind of like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I think was it Alien Isolation? That was all the way I finished that.
That is incredibly scary.
It is, yeah. But I didn't finish it because of that. But I did enjoy it while I dare to play it. But then when you're kind of dreading turning it on, there's a thin line between if you're enjoying it or it's kind of stressing you out. And it is a thin line actually sometimes. I think actually System Shock 2, that was one, and that was scary as well. But I remember Aaron and myself, we loved that System Shock 2. Yeah, that was. I mean, that's quite an old game now, but yeah, that was one of the first kind of in that genre where you're kind of terrified to get in an elevator sort of thing.
Has there ever been anything that like kind of stuck in your head, whether it was either a theme in a game or an idea or a tone or something that you felt like that inspired you in a way, and anything on the music side or the lyrical side?
I mean, with the music, it's always when they have a kind of key theme that is reoccurring in the same way that if it's anything that's cinematic. I mean, like I say with Death Stranding, there is a cinematic element to it, and how they work with the music in that is so great. And I mean, when the movie has a recurring theme that you hook onto, I like that element, that repetition, a sad tune that comes at certain key points. Which again is more of a film thing, but if a game does that as well, then it's going to definitely probably get my attention more than one that's just got kind of 2-bit noise going on.
Metal is very much a genre which has seen an explosion in interest in all things old school. And I feel like video games are very similar, where kind of retro video games are having their moment. You're seeing these games now that are bringing back pixel art and these kinds of like PS1 style graphics, where there's very much an interest in getting away from new school technology. Like you said, Resident Evil brings you back to a time where you felt younger, but you say that graphics are important to you. Do you kind of lean more towards that retro interest versus seeing what's coming out in the cutting edge of technology?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I kind of like the idea of it, but once I've done something, I tend not to go back to it. It's I find to read. It's like the Hitman games. Once I've done it once, I don't care about the alternative ways, and I also know the map as well. I'm kind of similarly when I think about going back and playing games that I just got the new is it Skyrim that they've redone? There was something anyway, so I sort of give it a go. But I mean, as soon as I got out of the dungeon, I thought, well, I've just done all this. I did it, and it's so I'm kind of I tend to, once I finish something, I tend to even though I'm interested in the alternative endings, I tend to let someone else tell me about it or watch it on a YouTube clip.
Especially when you get to these games where you have to like 100% them to get to the true ending. I've definitely given up games when it's like, oh, I don't feel like collecting all the bullshit in order to see like
I mean
the main
and
bad guy die or whatever.
But I mean, like the grinding aspect as well. I mean, that can get that can do my head in a little bit. When you kind of, the repetition of collecting 10 items of this and that, sometimes that kind of does my head in as well. I don't like that aspect too much. And especially if the storyline banks on you getting X or Y, and it's just, sometimes I can be turned off pretty quickly with the grinding element as well. You know, it's got to be, I guess it's a balance of everything, you know.
Do you find that you tend not to revisit the same titles again, just with the way you mentioned, not really a tremendous interest in a different approach to the same thing? So like you complete a game usually once and then you don't go back to it?
Yeah, I played Cyberpunk when that came out, because I got that on PC. I mean, I thought it was great, and it worked pretty well straight away on PC. I know the console had a nightmare with the bugs with it, but I mean, it was always quite good on PC from the start. But I mean, I completed it kind of annoyingly quickly, and I didn't know what I did wrong. I think maybe I skipped some major thing. But meanwhile, my brother, he's been playing it for like 6 years. It's like however long it's been out now, 4 years or whatever. It's like, how are you still playing it? I mean, but I sort of thought, well, like, he says, it's been updated, it's totally different now, blah, blah. So I played it. And I kind of just started losing interest after about an hour. I don't know why, because it's because I've done it. I guess there's something in my head saying, oh, you've done this. So the repeat element is, I guess it's down to my attention span, maybe. You know, it's probably something to do with that. I do have quite a poor attention span, to be honest.
I mean, truthfully, I'm more on your side. Like, I have a huge collection of physical games downstairs, and I have plenty of games on Steam and whatever, but like, I find it very rare that I'm influenced to like go back and re-experience a story that I've already played before. Like, as soon as you know those story beats, it's kind of hard to be surprised, like, oh no, he was dead all along. Like, you already know, and unless you're going for like the mechanical challenge of like, oh, I'm gonna beat this game in like 2 hours or whatever. If you're more story driven, there's really kind of very little.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm like with it. It's just a case of, you know, the repetitive elements is kind of, and especially if you spent a long time on it anyway, it's just like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm done with that for now. But so yeah, I mean, like Death Stranding, for example. I mean, I always think, oh, well, what happens if I would have done that or that? But then I thought, well, I'm going to give it a go. But then I lost interest.
Do you think that Death Stranding 2 will influence you to get a PS5, or are you just going to wait for that PC port?
It's kind of. I was kind of tempted, actually. I was tempted, but I probably won't. I'll hang about till it comes out on a. Again, Red Dead Redemption. I put in so many hours with that game, and it's brilliant. I mean, but I was playing it with a keyboard, and I wondered why I wasn't enjoying it. And then my mate said, "You need a controller," and I went, And then it was like learning from start again. And then I don't even know how far I am in the game, but I mean, I know it was great. But even with the keyboard, it was still good. But it's a shame I didn't start with a controller from the start. But there you go.
Are you more fond of mouse and keyboard versus controller? Like, is there a bit of a hang up when it comes to the controller in terms of the hand-eye coordination?
It's funny, when I got, like with Elden, I got used to the controller, and it was great. It really worked. And then for a little bit, I was kind of like, oh, yes, controllers, yes. I'll never use a keyboard again. But then I played the Call of Duty 6 with mouse and keyboard, and I was completely converted back to the mouse and keyboard again. So I flipped back to that, and I'm kind of, it's hard to get back in the controller again. But yeah, I mean, it's good for the controller if I'm using my laptop, because then I don't kind of ruin all my keyboard. So that's beneficial. That's why I have an external one like that.
For when you get angry at that 12-year-old. Yeah, right. Smash it.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to ask, what was your preferred build in Elden Ring?
I can't remember what I was. Because I played it as soon as it came out, and I've forgotten without loading the game. And obviously, I've got the add-on pack, which I just got killed immediately. So I thought, I'm going to have to leave this for now and then come back to it. But yeah, do you know what? I can't remember what I was, if I'm honest. But I tend to go for balanced, whatever it is. I mean, it's all balanced. I don't like going in one,
You're not specifically strength. You're not like a magic user.
Well, I found that dexterity is really important in Elden Ring. But
it's
it was
Aaron
Aaron
stat, yeah, for sure.
Aaron told me that. He says, just get your dexterity up. Wise words there.
Does that interest in Elden Ring now extend to the other FromSoft games? Like, are you going to be checking out Dark Souls and Sekiro and all these other ones, or is it specifically Elden Ring?
I keep trying, I keep trying, but Dark Souls, I can't get past that first boss guy, and it was just, and the fact with Elden Ring, it's more open world, so you can come back, and I like that. But when you need to defeat one thing to get to the next bit, that's where I just become unstuck with it, and then I start losing patience.
Yeah, that linearity.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love the fact you can go somewhere else then come back. I like that aspect once you build up your power, etc. So,
has either using music you've already composed for a game or creating music for a video game been something that you had ever considered or you would have any interest in?
No, but that would be fantastic to do something like that. I mean, that's kind of a bit of a dream, really. I mean, I guess for any musician, get your music to that many ears I mean, that's that'd be fantastic. I would imagine that I couldn't imagine anyone thinking a no to that, for sure. I mean, the amount of people the millions of people that play these games, and yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah. I would imagine it's a bit of a dream come true. I would imagine, particularly if you got the entire game. I mean, that'd be out of this world, I guess.
Fun little hypothetical. If you had the opportunity to work on a horror game or a horror movie, which would you rather work on?
A game, I guess, because probably more people will see it.
Do you think that we're in the era now where, like, gaming media has much more sway over the popular zeitgeist than traditional media, like movies and television?
Well, I think, because I mean, a lot of it is as well, like, my generation grew up gaming, and a lot of the games are aimed at people not necessarily my age, but certainly, but perhaps more mature people. So it's and if they're still doing it, and like we do it, we're in our 50s and we're still doing it. I guess, yeah. And then they were aimed at kids when originally, but then it's just they've kind of come out through generations, and they're just more and more and more people playing them. So I guess they have definitely more impact. Whereas, I definitely think. I mean, certainly like the Call of Duty franchise is just so big, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's all ages. I mean, like I said, I just played the last one. I thought it was great. I wouldn't say it's necessarily aimed at my age group, but it certainly ticked the boxes for me. So
I agree that a lot, especially multiplayer games like Call of Duty, have more of that like younger mentality of you need those like quick reflexes, and you need to have that kind of like from birth experience of playing these multiplayer games. But in terms of subject matter, if you're talking about like Call of Duty, it's effectively just conflict in the Middle East and conflict with Russia and these kind of like geopolitical issues. It's like, is that really what Gen Z is, all about these days, is like overarching socio-political conflicts, or is it just like a backdrop?
I think it's the same as, to me, it's just pure. It's escapism. It's the same as singing about gore and zombies and murdering and whatever that used to happen in the 80s with the subjects in songs that were kind of scrutinized a lot. It's absolutely pure fantasy. I mean, like you say, yeah, it's war, but it's people are just playing a game that I don't think they're really. You got to have a bit of a screw loose in the first place to kind of really overanalyze. It is ultimately fantasy in the game, and it's ultimately about escapism in the same way that music is. It's exactly, in my opinion, it's exactly pretty much the same thing. It's just a different type of escapism. It's more interactive than just listening to music, I guess, or watching a film.
As somebody who is more interested in the latest and greatest, are there any games that are coming up that you're interested in picking up?
Well, we've kind of been busy with the band recently, so I've kind of put gaming on the back burner for now. Like I said, when we have a bit of time in between everything else, then I kind of pick it back up again. But I guess like we said earlier, like Death Stranding 2 for sure. I'm looking forward to that one. I've been playing Avowed. I know that's out now, but I've been playing Avowed. I quite like that. That's a pretty good game. I'm quite enjoying it when I get a chance. But yeah, apart from Death Stranding, that's the only one that's kind of made me think, oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. But anything that comes out around sort of Christmas time when we're kind of quiet. And I could just play that in between everything else. It's just a nice time, and if it's horrible outside, you can just stay in and have it. I like that as well. So yeah, anything around sort of Christmas time is always good when a game comes out at that time, because we're always usually fairly quiet around that time. So,
are there any particular franchises that you would really like to see a new entry in?
I don't know really, because most of them, like I said, the sort of the Capcom, the Resident Evil, that was the one that's the main one that even I played the Spider-Man game and I thought it was great. It was again very linear, and the second one I didn't bother because I thought, well, I don't know, even though it looks great, but it reminded me of the God of War kind of vibe. But yeah, beyond the Resident Evil, not really, there's none that really keeps me. Call of Duty, if they bring out another one, I'll probably play that because I was so impressed with the last one. So probably that, and that's probably doesn't get much bigger than that franchise, really, for sure. But yeah, but I will always check out the new Resident Evils. I think they're so well done. They're great.
Resident Evil 9, February 26th.
Oh, is that when it's out? Yeah. Wow, great. It's February. Well, if we're quiet,
yeah,
I'll be checking that.
You don't have anything coming up.
Cancel the tour.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that. Well, so on Twitter, you typically ask people for their opinion on games before you pick them up. We want to ask you, are there any games that you would suggest to anybody who would be watching this as your personal recommendation?
I'm trying to think what I was playing recently. I played one actually, which is quite nice to Against the Storm. That's one that I quite like to kind of check out. It's a kind of, I guess it's a bit like a city command and conquer sort of thing, but that's kind of quite relaxing to play. But it has that frantic element where the weather changes and you just get completely destroyed and you have to start again. But when that doesn't happen, it's actually quite nice. But that's
when you're not getting murdered by a snowstorm, then it turns into Animal Crossing. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's you spend all that time building these excellent farms, and before you know it, it's all over again. You have to start again. So, but yeah, it's. But I kind of like stuff that I can. Aaron plays No Man's Sky, and Aaron loves No Man's Sky, and I thought I'm going to get it. But I just, for some reason, I just didn't. I don't know. I kind of got used to how it works, but. So yeah, it's just another one in my Steam collection that remains 3 hours play or something like that. There's plenty of those in my collection.